Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by Milo Tree. Here's your host, Jillian Leslie.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm so glad you're here. Before I start, I want to announce that our new coaching group is starting August 4th. So this is for entrepreneurs, bloggers, people just getting started, people who have been at it for a while. And David and I spend 6 weeks rolling up our sleeves and working closely with you in real time to grow your business. We start at the beginning. We give homework assignments. We hold you accountable. It's a great group of people. If this sounds interesting to you, please head to milotree.com/group to hear about it, to read about it. But also, I would love to get on a call with you just to hear about your business and talk about how the group might help you. And if you want to schedule a call with me, please head to milotree.com/meet and we can get to know each other. For today's episode, I have my friend Kaycee Geeding on the show. She is the blogger and shop owner behind Roost and Restore. Kaycee was also in our last coaching group and we talk about that so she can give you insight on what her big takeaways were. Also, we dig in on the very cool business that Kaycee is growing, where not only does she blog about homesteading and homemaking, but she sells scrap wood to people to help them create beautiful crafts, decorations for their homes. There's a real rustic quality to it. I think you are going to really like Kaycee and find this episode interesting because it's amazing how you can build a successful business on the internet. Without further delay, here is my interview with Kaycee Geeding. Kaycee, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's so good to be here.
I am very excited to have you on the show. So we just finished our 6-week coaching group, and you, of course, were a big part of that. And I wanted you on the show because, as I was just saying before we pressed record, how impressed I am with how you've grown your business and how you've stumbled. I'm not going to say stumbled, how you've made some really good choices, figuring out what your audience wants and then serving it up to them. So I don't even really know your origin story. So would you share how you started your blog, how you started your business, when it was, and where you are now?
Yeah, thank you for just seeing the growth and noticing it and asking me to be here. So this is really the first time I've shared my origin story, I guess. And it's just kind of interesting how it all got started. But I was a stay-at-home mom for several years, and I was at home all the time. So decorating my home was kind of just what I did. I loved upcycling and doing things like that. Just making my home pretty with the little bit of money we had because, resources were limited. We had the one income, and people started noticing my photos and things that I was sharing on Facebook. And I decided, well, maybe this could turn into something. And it had gone as far as having people ask me to come to their homes and look at their decor. And I consulted with a couple people. It didn't really turn into much, but I thought there's something there. I just don't know what. So I decided to start a Facebook page. I got in a business coaching group because I knew I wanted to try and make some money on the side, being a stay-at-home mom. So the Facebook group started to grow, and I just did all the things that you're supposed to do.
Did you have a blog at this time or just a Facebook page?
I did not, just a Facebook page.
Okay, so how are you growing this Facebook page? Are you just posting the pretty things that you're making? Are you going live? Because ultimately, your Facebook page is an important part of your business right now, right?
Yes.
And you have
yes. And it's evolved a lot too since the beginning, because it started more as me showing the pretty things and showing how I decorated a space in my home and what I used. And then I started building this relationship with people just by being real and being myself the whole time. And then I got to listening, and they were telling me they wanted to see more of the behind the scenes stuff. So I would show them the mess as well as the pretty things, and um, just tell them how I achieved the look. And it started out more like that, and it has kind of evolved into more of it's unique actually. It started more as me being the teacher, and now it's more of my people teach me, I think, more than I teach them. Since I started the page a little over a year ago, the Facebook page, we've moved and we've started a homestead. So the DIY lifestyle has kind of always been in my blood, and my husband's, his goal was to have a homestead and things like that. So I've just taken them on the journey with me from the beginning. It was like, hey, I'm just a girl who loves decor, and oh, by the way, I'm moving now, so you're coming with me. You're going to see new things, and they have been all for it. There's this old-fashioned American feel to it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just
and I feel like, especially at this time, digging your feet in the earth, probably
yes.
like I find that very comforting right now.
Yes.
And especially because we are staying home, there's something about making our homes pretty and making them comfortable and making them feel good. And it's less about jetting off. It's more about like hearth and home. So, yes. Okay, so are you going live? You go live on your Facebook page. How often are you going live?
I do. I try to go live. Gosh, I need to be more consistent, but I try to go live at least 3 to 5 times a week. Just even if I'm not showing a craft, I just pop on and I'll show them, my workshop, or just chat about the thrift store haul that I just brought home, and they eat that stuff up. They love it. They want to see what I'm doing. So, and going live to me is just the most authentic way to do that. It's unscripted. It's just, hey, here it is. And my kiddos might run into the camera, or, my dog might be barking, but they get it. They see that it's real, and they know that I'm going through this right now. And they just I feel a connection with them that way. So going live is something, I think they prefer the live over something pre-recorded. So,
and do you think it's your lives that really helped grow your page?
Yes, I do. And that was a benefit from having coaching early on, was knowing that you get more reach with video, and live video especially, you get more interaction too. And that has grown as well. I mean, it was so scary going live for the first time.
Was it crickets in the beginning, or were people showing up?
Not totally. I don't even know why, to be honest. There were people there, and I feel like I could connect to other women my age. But then the other women that are on the page almost have like this nostalgic. They're always sharing memories of their past, and they're telling me about how they used to do this with their mom and dad, or they watched their grandmother do the things that I'm sharing on the page. And they just have this, like, I don't know, like I just want to hug them, like they feel like that like they're my mom. I don't know how to explain it, but just the relationship I feel like I've made so many friends, and mentors too. And that just feeds back into them teaching me more than I'm teaching them at this point. But anyway,
well, we were talking about this at the beginning, which is, I believe that the answer to growing a business and to putting yourself out there as somebody, let's say, who people gravitate to, is making it not the Kaycee show, but making it, I'm this facilitator, and it's not about, even though it is about your life, it's really not about you, it's about the connection to the audience. And the more we kind of set ourselves up as some sort of expert or influencer, I think the more distant we become. But it is about showing up with no makeup on and having your kids run through and showing your chickens and like the kind of messiness, I think, makes you very relatable, and that people then will buy from you. So let's talk about now you start your blog and you start selling stuff? Like okay, because we're going to get to the fact that you now sell products that people want to buy from you, and they're very unique
Yes.
products. So how did you start that? So you start your blog, so you get your Facebook page going with juice, you're showing
Yes.
up, and then you roll it into a blog. And do you put a shop on the blog right away? What are you doing?
I'm trying to remember, honestly, because it's all a blur. It happened so fast. We launched the blog a year ago in May, and I want to say it seemed I started a Shopify store kind of simultaneously because I thought that was what I was supposed to do. Like being a business owner, you feel like you're supposed to sell things, and I didn't really know what to sell. It just made sense for me to sell home decor because that's what I was talking about in the blog and what I was showing on the Facebook page. So that's what I started out with. I was selling little, shelf sitters and candles and things like that. People liked it. It wasn't amazing, but it was there. So this is kind of where the shift come in. So
Wait, where were you sourcing that stuff? Were
sorry,
you like, were you having a
wholesale.
warehouse? So you were buying stuff like candles, putting it in your
Yes.
house, and then shipping it out.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what I was doing, and I was working out of a little tiny office at the time. So the office also held the decor, it held all my craft supplies. It was a mess, but that's where we were at the time, and that's how it worked. But the shift came. I was doing a craft, or actually, let me back up. And I've told you a little bit about this before, but my family and I had gone on a vacation to Louisville. We were going to Thunder over Louisville, and we were going to go see the Louisville Slugger Museum there downtown. And so you get through the tour at the Louisville Slugger Museum, and they give you this little piece of wood. And I laugh so much when I think about it because I was looking at this little piece of wood, and they call them nubs, and it's just like the end that they lop off the end of the baseball bat when it's finished and it's about to go be painted and shipped out. I looked at my husband and I said, "Babe, I need these. Like these are awesome." So my light bulb went off, and I'm like, you know what? I need a ton of these nubs because we're gonna make a tray, and like this was all happening. I kid you not, within like a 2 minute time frame in my head. This is just all these ideas are just firing off. And I'm like, I have to ask them if I can get like 300 of these. I brought those nubs home, and this was like a 3 hour trip for us. So I brought those nubs home, and I did this tray. I made a tray, it had a little circle, and I used these nubs that I got from the museum, which had this really cool story with it. And I did it live on my Facebook page, and everybody went bananas. They were like, "Oh my gosh, I need some of these nubs." And at first I was like, well, I just thought it was a cool story. I wanted to share this with you. And then I got to thinking, well, what if I can get my hands on some more, and I can start sending these to people. And
Did you
so
think,
I
wait,
called.
did you think I can sell these or what? Like, did you
No,
think,
it really wasn't my thought. It was just more of me like serving my people at the time. I was like, oh yeah, I'll send you something, you can use. It's unique. Sure. So I sold them basically for the cost of shipping. Like I didn't really make money because that wasn't where it didn't connect with me yet that this is, I could make money. That wasn't really what I was thinking. I was just wanting to get this to my people because it was just a unique thing. And so they sold quicker, like and it was thousands of nubs, and remember I said I was keeping this in a tiny little office. So I had boxes like stacked up around me, and we shipped the nubs, and they were a hit. And the next question was, well, now we need the circles for the tray. Like we have the nubs, but now we need these little wooden circles. And that kind of that's where I was like, okay, this is not like there's something here. I can start making this stuff and selling this stuff. Um so, and when I say I use the term it was my husband. He was the one out there with I didn't know how to use a saw. I didn't even barely knew how to use a drill. So he was out there cutting these circles by hand, and we sold hundreds hundreds of these hand cut circles and baseball nubs. And I was like, wow, they don't want decor. They want to make their own decor. They don't
Okay,
want
so
to
wait,
buy
we
decor
have to
that's
pause there for a second. I always talk about, as a business owner, you're a miner with a pickaxe, and you go up into the hills and you start mining for gold. So you thought, okay, people want my decor. They want I'm going to buy some candles and sell them. I'm going to buy some cute stuff for their shelves. And you just had this light bulb moment of like, I think these things are cool. I'm not thinking about it for my business, but these like wood things look really neat. And you offered them to your audience. And then all of a sudden they responded like crazy, probably much more say than the candles. In hindsight now, it's like you went mining, and guess what? You struck some gold. Then you're listening and your audience is telling you, hey, we don't just want these, we want the circles now. And then you go, wait a second. I was thinking my business is going to be over here in DIY stuff and like finished stuff that people can decorate. And really, yes. I'm like, you're realizing, no, the gold in the hills is my people want to make stuff like with wood. Yes. And how yes. do I then serve them? Imagine growing your Instagram followers with no work. Highly engaged followers. Now imagine it with Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube. How about new email subscribers? Seriously, no work. This is all possible if you install the Milo Tree pop-up on your blog. David, my husband, and I started our blog, Catch My Party, in 2009. We've since grown it into the largest party ideas site on the web with millions of page views per month. We did it with hard work and our secret weapon, our Milo Tree pop-up, which David built for us. We've grown our Pinterest followers to over 1.3 million and our Instagram followers to over 164,000. And right now, 8,000 other bloggers just like you are using Milo Tree to grow their businesses. With Milo Tree, you can focus on growing one platform or switch between several. But here is the important thing. If you aren't converting your visitors into followers, subscribers, and customers, you're honestly wasting your own traffic. Make this asset, your visitors, work for you. Since we're bloggers, we get bloggers. So we've optimized Milo Tree like crazy. It's a snap to install. It won't slow your site down. It's Google friendly on mobile. And it's so darn cute. You can even add animated sparkles to your pop-up if you like. Sign up now and get your first 30 days for free. Please pause this episode and head to milotree.com to sign up. I know you will thank me. As a bonus, once you sign up, I'm going to send you weekly actionable business tips to help you grow your business. I've been at this a long time and I have a lot to share. Remember, your scarcest resource is not money, it's time. So let Milo Tree free up time for you so you can focus on the other important parts of your business. So what are you waiting for? Hit pause, head to Milo Tree, and sign up today. I start my podcast because I want it to support Milo Tree, right? I want to attract people who have blogs and I can help them grow their blogs and their businesses, and then they can buy Milo Tree and put Milo Tree on their blogs. And all of a sudden I noticed people who hadn't started blogs were kind of listening to the podcast, and I'm going, oh no, this is the wrong audience. I need people, because you can't use Milo Tree unless you have a blog that you own, that's yours. And I'm thinking, wait a second, oh no, this is my wrong audience. And then I thought to myself, wait a second, maybe we could come out with a product where we help people set up blogs. So it was like, again, I'm thinking we're going one direction, and I'm like a little like upset, like, wait, no, you're the wrong audience. No, I'm attracting the wrong people. And then I thought, no, what do these people have as a need? They're listening to my podcast. They're wanting to build businesses, but they haven't yet been able to get their blog set up. Hey, I can help you get your blog set up. And that's how we launched our Blog Start program. But again, it was the mindset shift of going, no, I thought it was this. And not that we don't then ultimately, we set up your blog, help you grow your blog, and then you get Milo Tree on your blog. So it all kind of fits. However, we saw this need that I never thought existed. Why are you listening to my podcast if you don't already have a blog? So it's like you going, wait, I thought you guys wanted the full DIY, like the decor, and then to go, no, what you really want, what you're really excited about is making the decor with wood. Okay, so tell the story. So I love this, that you went, oh, no, here's the shift I need to make. I'm going to go continue now to mine on the hill where the gold is. So tell me about the gold, finding more gold.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying before we hit record, is it was kind of an accident in a way. Like I don't know. I was a little resistant to the idea. I'm like, really? Like you want the wood? And I'm over here thinking, well, darn, I don't even know how to use a saw. I'm just going to have to rely on my husband. So instead of taking on that mindset and just totally pushing it off on him, I decided I was going to learn the skill set so I could experiment with this a little bit. So I started making these very basic wood cuts. Okay. And you can search on Pinterest scrap wood projects all day long and you'll see what I'm talking about. Just very basic, like little blocks of wood that are all decorated cute, and you can set them as part of a vignette or on your shelf, that sort of thing. So I started making and selling these very basic pieces of wood, and it blew my mind how much people actually loved it, because they wanted, maybe these people didn't have access to a saw. Maybe they loved what they saw on Pinterest, but they didn't really have the means to take it from Pinterest and make it in real life. And so my idea was, I want to help these women take these ideas that they have and actually have them come to life. You know what I mean? So I wanted to do the work for them. There's no sense in them going out and buying a bunch of tools, buying a bunch of wood, when they really just want this cute little sign. You know what I mean? So I took the burden of learning that myself and buying the tools. I did that and learned this skill set. I'm still learning. Everything I know is very basic at this point. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to learn this and I'm going to ship it to you. So if you are at home and you can't, afford to go get a whole slab of wood and cut it on your own saw, or you don't have the means or the time, then you can buy it from me. I will do that legwork and send it to you. And I realized that's not very scalable, keeping myself in the thick of it all the time. So as we grew, I was starting to get burnt out. Honestly, I was like, oh my gosh, I am a slave to the saw, and I don't even love being on the saw that much. I want to just decorate.
Now, is this when we met?
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
Okay, go ahead.
That is when that's when we met, and you I remember, I'll never forget when we got on our one-on-one kind of call there before I started your 6-week coaching group, and you were like, what are you doing? Why are you you were like, why are you resisting this? You've struck gold. I remember you saying that, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't love it. This is not, I don't know. I was ready to hang it up. I really was. And even after that call, and after I had gotten in the group, I think it was a couple weeks in, I was like, I posted my tools for sale. I was done. I was getting rid of it. I'm like, nope, done. I'm done. I'm tired of being a slave to this. And that's how I felt. And it was kind of like, I felt guilty for even feeling that way, because I knew what my people wanted, but I was like, this isn't what I want. And I was trying to, I guess kind of had that selfish moment, like, no, this is going to be what I want. And just this weird, like, transformation. I think it was, I don't remember which week it was, but you were kind of just giving us a pep talk in the group, and you said, what did you say? Just how it's gonna suck sometimes, and you just have to get through the bad days. And I was just having a really bad day, and had decided I was done. And you encouraged me that day, and you said, no, you just, if you hit that goal, you just kind of have to just keep pushing through it. Something's going to come of it. And even if if you're over here and something's kind of working, you can kind of pivot just a little bit and not like totally change course, but change it in a way that is good for you too. And so what I did, instead of because at the time you could just go on my Shopify store, you could buy this. I mean, it was like going to the grocery store. You could just pick up whatever you want and put it in your cart. And that had me literally running all over the place from different kinds of tools and stuff in my shop, making these pieces to ship. And I decided, I need to take a little more control of this instead of it controlling me. And I pulled all that stuff off the site, and I decided to bundle it into a subscription form. And so we launched subscription boxes last week, I think. I don't even remember what day it was, July 1st. And so now if people are wanting these pre-cut shapes, wood blocks, and when I say wood blocks, like you can get these cute little wood block houses, trays, or like just pieces of wood that I will eventually show you what to do with, that sort of thing. And people will bring me Pinterest, send me Pinterest pins. Hey, I want to make this. Can you send me this wood? So these boxes are prepackaged with like 3 to 5 not little, I mean, they're nice pieces, but pre-cut wood. It's unfinished. And now you can actually purchase that in a kit. And not a kit. Let me rephrase that. It's just a package, because it's not a complete kit that you're getting. And I found out that my people don't want a complete kit. They don't want the ribbon. They don't want everything that goes with it. They just want the wood, because they've already got the idea in their head. And if they don't, they're going to watch me do it on a video, and then they can go and be inspired and do it themselves. So, because I experimented with that too, in conjunction with the boxes, I also launched a complete kit. And I think I sold like 5 of the complete kits and 100 boxes. I mean, it was just like black and white. We're like, okay, they don't want this. Throw that in the garbage, and they want this. So now the subscribers can get these, and they're mystery boxes, so they don't know what they're getting in their box. That's the fun part. But they trust me enough, because they've seen enough of the projects to know that what I'm sending is going to be good. So we send these subscription boxes, and
how much do you charge for a subscription box?
$39.99 is.
And then they pay shipping on. They pay shipping on top of that.
We carry shipping costs.
Okay, got it.
And that was just kind of the thing is I offer the product without it being a subscription as well, and it comes at a higher price. You will pay $49.99 if you just want to purchase it one time, but if you subscribe, you're getting the discount, and that's just kind of part of the incentive, I guess, to be a subscriber. So, and I haven't totally worked out the kinks on all that yet. This is brand new for me, but so I wanted that. That was kind of like there's 2 different elements to the Shopify store now, and there's the scrap wood, so in the boxes, and then we have designed and launched a new type of sign, a wooden sign that's customizable. They can build it. It's interchangeable, and it's just that too is in the very beginning stages. But people are eating it up because, once again, they are making it themselves. They're not getting a complete kit. They are deciding what size frame they want, what kind of background they want, what kind of words, and just what they want their sign to look like. So sure, I could sell them a sign kit, but that's not what they want. They want to be able to pick and choose and basically build their sign. And I say build, like they're just getting the nuts and bolts in the mail, and then they get to build it, and they get to do it themselves.
So you provide the raw materials, really?
Correct.
Because we were talking about this, and you go, when I first started, and I thought, I'm just providing scrap wood. And I said to you, I wouldn't know where to get scrap wood. Like, to you, it's like nothing. But to me, it's a big deal. I would not know.
Well,
Like, do I go
and
to Home Depot? Like, wouldn't know how to use a saw. Like, you are providing so much value. But to you, it's like, you live like on a farm where you're like,
yeah,
hey, wood is no big deal. And so
right. I mean, and
it's,
it's literally just laying around, and that's where a lot of the crafters I've noticed in the crafting, the Facebook world and things like that, is they do all these really cute scrapwood projects. But I'm sitting here thinking, well, I don't have a piece of wood that looks like that. And I just wanted those people that, even if they're not watching me do the craft, if they see somebody else do something amazing, because there's lots of really cute scrapwood projects out there that they can get their hands on wood. Like, it's not impossible, and they don't have to learn a new skill set to cut the piece of wood and or hire somebody to come build something for them. That's not where a lot of these women are. A lot of these women are, like I said, they just they don't have the skill set, or they don't care to learn. They just want the cute stuff.
now,
So
how did you get past that feeling of burnout? Like, what are you past it? Like, my feeling is when you're in a situation where things are working and you're finding gold and you're feeling burnout, is there a way you can hire somebody? And I said that, I'm like, could you hire somebody to make the wood? How can you adjust it so that you can fulfill this need rather than, I remember you go, I just want to be a blogger. And I go,
yep.
and I was looking at your site, and you have this really nice lemonade recipe, like to make this like home. And I go, okay, so I said, you could be selling wood, or people could do like make your lemonade recipe. Like, which is more special? Where could you build a business? Like, it just was kind of like, oh, wait a second. No, don't abandon this. Even if it's like, is there a way to align yourself with it? So what
Yeah.
have you done?
And that's the cool part. Sorry,
Yo,
I'll answer your question, but that's the cool part, I think, about my Facebook page. And it's kind of hard to explain, but the same people that want to, and some might disagree with this, I don't know, but I feel like my people, because I know them, they are the type that they want to make their own sign, but they also want to make lemonade. And they
okay.
also want to make their cute little, they also want to, know what kind of herbs to put in their nesting boxes for their chickens. Like, it's just like that homey, like, just adding value to their homes any way possible is what these women love. And they also like to get their hands dirty. But I'm trying to repeat
Oh,
your
so
question
how
again.
did you
I'm
deal?
sorry.
How did you deal with the burnout? Are you still dealing with
The
it?
burnout.
And like, what have you done? I know you went to subscription boxes so that you were no longer getting an order and having to go like make a bespoke home, like personalized piece of wood. And
Right.
has that
So
helped?
we've switched to the subscription boxes. So because that was such a important part of the business, people were like, "No, we want this, we want this wood." So to make it more reasonable for me, and to keep myself from burning out, and because right now it's literally just it's me on the saw. And I do have an assistant at the moment, and she helps me with a little bit of everything. But um I know exactly how many pieces of wood I need to cut for the month to send when it comes to, the scrap wood. So the subscription boxes solved that problem, and that was super helpful. And I'm still giving my people what they want. They have the option to buy it in two different ways. They can buy it once, or they can subscribe. So that's up to them. There's no pressure. So I think they love that. There's been lots of positive feedback there. And then the other thing was hiring help. And that was so scary for me to actually commit to that, because before, if it failed, it was on me, and now I have an employee that relies you know, on the success of it. So that she has taken a big weight off my shoulders. Between she does a little bit of everything right now, and we're still kind of working out the kinks, because she's also very creative, and we can work side by side with planning for new product launches and things like that. So I think she is going to become more of my personal assistant, and she will be doing less of like the housework and things. So there's we are actually currently looking to hire a second person to have on our team. So it'll be me, my personal assistant, who currently kind of does a little bit of everything, but I see her potential. So I really want her working closer to me. And then a third person that will help as well. So that is where we're at with that. And in conjunction with the subscriptions, I know I'm kind of backtracking a little bit. We I'd mentioned before, we launched the signs. Okay, so these, and I'm calling them nesting boxes, the Roost and Restore nesting box, and they basically, you have the frame once, you build the frame once, and then you get like the insert and the add-on. Okay, so these things can be outsourced, and so I plan on outsourcing, the frames and things like that. Not totally, because I want it to be, I still want it to have that homemade, like touched by me feel, because I do want my hands on these things to make sure that it's exactly the way I want it. But outsourcing is something we're kind of moving toward as well, because the with the launch of the signs and the launch of the mystery boxes, it has kind of been overwhelming, and so I'm having to kind of rethink how I'm going to get the products to people as well, because
I always
it's
say,
been so successful. I mean, it's
like I always
a
say,
good problem.
I was just going to say, these are problems, and it's not like they're not problems, but these are good problems to have, even though they might keep you up at night and they might stress you out and they might make you go, oh my God, how am I going to manage all this? This is the kind of problem you want to have versus the problem of nobody's buying my stuff. What do I do?
Yes.
I've got bills to pay. So again, these are the growing pains. I always say start with stuff that you can't scale, and then over time figure out how to scale it if that's your problem. Which again,
Yeah,
Kaycee,
that's exactly where we're at.
so I want to talk just briefly about your experience being in our 6-week group and what that was like for you, just to give, because we're going to open it up again, and I just wanted to talk about what you got out of it. So initially you found me and I said, let's get on a call to talk to see if it was a good fit. And I gave you some ideas for your blog, like, hey, you could change your nav here, or hey, you could do this. And David and I,
it worked.
Okay. And then you decided to join the group. And what was that like for you?
Well, just that call in itself really kind of pushed me over the edge, because just seeing that you and David both were so willing just to help, you had this genuine, like, hey, do this. And you told me exactly what to do. And I implemented the changes, and guess what? It worked. And I'm like, okay, so there's some value to what they're telling me here. And it was just a no-brainer for me to just go ahead and enroll in the group. Like I said, I was on the fence before, and that personal touch of you looking at me specifically and saying, this is what you need to do for your business right now, is really what the game changer was for me. And I said this before, like, you guys had the ability to speak in generalizations, but then you could also look at each person in the group and say, okay, this is what you need to do. You've got the gold here. You saw the gold, I think, before even I did, you know what I mean? So having that that point of view from you guys, and the fact that you've been in the trenches and you've done the work yourself too, you know exactly what we're feeling, what we're going through, and exactly what we need to hear. And you give us those actionable steps. It's not just like this cheer session, like, go, you got this. It was more of like, no, go do this, this, and this, and I can guarantee, like, this is the outcome. Like, you just have to do the work. And so it made sense to me to have those kind of actionable steps and things for us to do each week was super helpful. And
I give homework.
Yeah, the homework.
But again, it's like I get to see you growing your business in the course of this, and then go, oh wait, Kaycee, how about, like, okay, like, you wrote this great blog post of scrap projects, and I could see, I'm like, wait a minute, you got to sell your scrap wood for these projects. So, and you were like, oh, I hadn't thought of that,
Oh yeah, of course.
kind of like made it as an aside, like, hey, if you want to, and I'm like, no, you need the wood, and then you can do the project. So it's
something so simple like that has been so helpful. It's simple, and it makes so much sense after you said it, but having you just look at it and say, no, this is what you need to do. It's like, oh, of course. You just, sometimes you don't see your own mistakes. Like when it's right there in front of you, it should be so plain. But yeah, that was really a good, that was a good moment when you said that.
Well, again, I think too, I'm blind to things in my own business. It's like
Yes.
you can't quite see your own faults sometimes, whereas you can see them in other people. And I'm not saying that that was a fault at all, but it's like you can go, oh, wait a minute, because you have fresh eyes. So you see your business all the time. Like I see my business. Like I thought the wrong audience was showing up for my business. And it took me a little while to go, oh no, that's not the wrong audience. It's just a different audience. And so it's like you need people to point that out to you sometimes so that you can go like have that aha moment because you have this, I have this very specific way of seeing how things should work and kind of like trying to squish it so that it does work that way. And then somebody
Yep.
comes in with fresh eyes and it's like, oh my God, duh. Like how many duh moments have I had looking back going, why didn't I see this? This was,
Kind of like the lemonade. Like,
kind of like,
watch
yeah,
the lemonade.
exactly. And again, again, I love the lemonade, but it was kind of like,
Yeah.
do you want to put your business, like you have stuff that's working and you're ready to chuck it for, making lemonade, which is great. And it like is an add-on, but not
Yeah.
as like what, where your business could really blossom. And the thing is that being an entrepreneur, as you know, it's hard. Like I wouldn't choose any other path, but there are days you wake up and you hate your business. Like, and I'm very upfront about saying like
And you
this
want
is,
to put all your tools on Facebook for
and
sale.
and I remember you saying you did that. You really did do that. You really
I
did.
really did do that. No, I really did. I bought a machine 1 month and I had it less than a month and I'm like, nope, done. And then I just had it like a little pity party, I guess. I don't know. And then I got over it.
So now
But
what about your business right now are you most excited? So by the way, thank you for all the stuff that you said about the group, and that is totally true, which
sure.
is if you wanted thinking of joining, I want to get on a call with you and give you some pointers and stuff to see like we do work very specifically. What's really nice about it is it's a group of people who come together and they're in different verticals. But I think that because of that, you get to look at, oh my God, that business is different than mine, or I could borrow that from
Yeah.
into my
But within that
business.
6 weeks, you kind of feel like you know these people a little more personally too. So like I'm following them now and seeing like, oh, they're, I can see that little nugget that they're applying from the group, from what they've learned from the group. And I'm like, oh, I know what they're doing. They're doing good.
Uh-huh.
Um, but there was something I was going to say to that and I've been forgot. But yes, it was awesome. I loved
Oh,
being a part of that group.
oh, great. And now, what about your business right now are you most excited?
Oh, yes, yes. Um, just, oh my gosh, just having the good problems, having the good problems, that it's just starting to click for me. And the growth has been crazy. Like from the time that I started your group until now, we doubled our best day. So like
Wait, this is
and
only
that's
like, wait, we ended, this is probably what, 2 months ago?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So our best day before, like when I say best day, like sales, on like physical products, we doubled our best day just by me digging in and really figuring out what it is they want. So I'm so excited to see where that's going to go and what is in store for the physical products and the blog. And I still feel like I'm mining a little bit, or maybe I've struck gold and I'm just trying to smooth everything out now and make it more um, scalable and things. But I think when all those kinks are worked out, it's just it's I don't know. I'm just so excited to see where it's gonna go. I want to think that it's gonna explode, and with the momentum we have right now, I just don't see how it couldn't.
Oh my God. Okay, Kaycee. People want to, I mean, you are
I'm
just this is why I wanted you on the show because we've been watching you go through this. And I want to say, I feel like you came in, I've kind of a little like needing a little bit of like, go this way, and then
Yes.
boom, you
Yes.
did it. And and speaking to where you were at that, like, okay, you're feeling burnt out, let's talk about this, let's figure out how to pivot away from that so that you can kind of refresh and figure, and build. And so it's just been like, it's so satisfying to watch. Like both David and I are like, you go, Kaycee, because we're so awesome. we feel so proud to see you take this and run with it. So if people want to reach out to you, see what you're doing, buy your products, what is the best way for them to do it?
The best way, I'm most active on my Facebook page. So it's Roost and Restore DIY Living. That's where you can find me on Facebook. And of course, I'm on Pinterest as well and Instagram. I haven't moved over to TikTok yet. I know you've been wanting me to, but I haven't. So Facebook, and then of course you can always shoot me an email at Kaycee@roostandrestore.com.
And it's it's KAYCEE at Roost and Restore at Roost and Restore.com.
Roostandrestore.com, yes. And there's a link on the blog where you can get to my shop and buy the wood. And that's the best way to find me.
Well, I love that. Well, honestly, Kaycee, I can't wait to continue. And you're doing our membership, so we get to kind of still be working with you and watching you grow and being there for you in any way that we can. And I have to say, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's been so much fun.
I hope you liked Kaycee's story. I think it is such a great example of building an emergent business, letting it emerge while you are listening and watching and seeing what your audience is responding to. This is how David and I teach. If this sounds interesting to you, please come join our next group starting really soon on August 4th. Go to milotree.com/group to learn about it, but come jump on a call with me, milotree.com/meet, and we can talk about your business, what you're struggling with, how you want it to grow, and what the group can do for you. And I will see you here again next week.